wonderfully devotees have shared all those points about compassion. Now this word, we had a Nameruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and today as a Jiva Daya. Jiva Daya is a compassion and mercy, which translates as English. Now, when I was very new into the Krishna conscious philosophy, that time Sri Shastra Prabhu asked me, how many times in your vocabulary, in your hostel vocabulary, you had this word, compassion, mercy? Hardly any times, right? But I said, yeah, my friend, he was very hefty, very hefty. He used to wear the t-shirt, and the t-shirt labeled as no mercy. The same time, few days back, I asked a few students, and they said, have you heard anytime, Daya, this kind of words? They said, yes. In one of the detective serials, one of the characters' name is Daya. That's the only time probably we had heard this word as a compassion and mercy. But as we come to the Krishna consciousness, we reflect back on these emotions. Right? So, Sudama Prabhu, one of our brahmachari, he always used to call, compassion. Compassion means passion, come. Less. Passion, come. Matlab kyo? Compassion. Right? Now, if you reflect back, what's a passion? Passion is actually which makes us feel, okay, he has so much, he has so much, he has so much, I don't have. I want to have it. I want to have it. Basically, passion makes us feel I am deprived of that thing, that thing, that thing. Wonderfully integrated by today's drama of, KM-based devotees. Wonderful, isn't it? I don't have that, let me have that, let me have that. And he keeps on chasing after it, chasing after it, chasing after it, and never finds the satisfaction. His whole life goes on chasing after it, and the feeling is, I am deprived of something. I am deprived of something. Exactly opposite is a compassion emotion. What's a compassion emotion? When somebody becomes a Krishna conscious devotee, he sees how there are so many conditioned souls who are suffering, rotting in this material world. Right? So, what is the feeling he has? They are deprived of such a wonderful nectar. They are deprived. In a passion, what happens? I am deprived. Right? In a compassion, what happens? You feel they are deprived of these things. Let me share Krishna consciousness, however it is possible, with them. And when you share Krishna consciousness with him, what do you feel? Jealousy? Envy? No. Emotion, what you feel is a satisfaction. So exactly opposite of a passion, right? Where you are chasing after things and you never feel satisfied. Whereas a compassion, you feel more satisfied because you are associating with the Krishna's energy, not the material energy, isn't it? So compassion is something which we see. As like devotees also said that, Lord Krishna is called as, hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called as Namo Mahavadanyaya. That means they are actually epitome of compassion. They actually compassion, they carry actually the compassion. And through them, if you see the life of acharyas, like Prabhuji also spoke so much about the lives of acharyas. Acharyas, they lived their life so selflessly. Their life was based upon selflessness. And what? Giving out to the others. That was a compassion. Right? They did so much sacrifices, so many things. For what? For our sake. Like Lord Krishna, some time back, Rasik Raman Prabhu was sharing that pastime. Lord Krishna was asked to carry a chaupai. चौपाई समझते हैं आप? नो प्लेट रखते हैं खाना खाने के लिए, तो नंद बाबा के लिए चौपाई लेके आओ. तो then the gopis asked, okay, get that chaupai. So he, before going, what does he says? He slams his biceps like this. Slams his biceps. I will get it. He was quite young. He could not even lift that chaupai. Somehow he picks it up, not even picks it up, tries to drag it, but nothing moves, right? And all the gopis, they start laughing. All of them, they start laughing. Now just imagine, he's the same Lord Shri Krishna who carries so many universes on his head as Ananta Shesh, and these universes are like a mustard seeds. He doesn't even figure it out. Where is that mustard seed from? So in that Ananta Shesh, he carries so many universes, right? But what? As a little Krishna, he makes sure that I cannot live this. Why is he doing these pastimes? These sweet pastimes of Braj. Why is he doing it? To attract our heart, to attract the hearts of conditioned souls, right? His just aim is to reclaim back all these conditioned souls. That's his compassion. That's what the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's compassion for all of us. And it's manifested through the parampara, right? So, Vaishnavas reflect back this compassion, right? They become the instrument of compassion what Lord Krishna and everyone has. And we can become an instrument of that compassion. Vaishnavas, this sacrifices and selflessness, like personally, when they go through miseries, they don't experience that misery. That personal experience of misery is not there for them, right? They don't mind. They take that as a mercy of Krishna. Their suffering, if you go to the Vaishnava songs, even Brahmaji prays, right? That they experience of that misery, they take it as a Krishna's mercy. But when they see others are suffering, their heart burns, right? It's a compassion actually. Like Prabhuji said about Lord Shiva, when he saw that poison halahal is disturbing the whole universe, what did he do? Out of compassion, he drank it. Right? He drank it. And then that halahal became ornament into his neck, and he known as now Nilakantha, right? So he is known as that, right? So they are paradukha dukhi. Vaishnavas are paradukha dukhi. You know that song? Vaishnava jana to tene kahi hai se pira parahi jane re पर दुखे उपकार करे हो पर दुखे उपकार करे हो मन अभिमान ना आवे रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कही. Who wrote this song? Okay, I thought you will say some other particular video. It is wrote by Saint Narsimha Mehta. So, even when Parikshit Maharaj, he was hearing about the fifth canto. Fifth canto is a description of hellish planets. When he was hearing that, he felt, oh, there are so many conditioned souls who are suffering in this material world. And then he inquired, how they can be delivered? How they can be delivered? And he was asking for the whole humanity, right? Sometimes when we are, we ask sometimes to somebody, it's just sometimes sympathetic, but hardly sometimes it's empathy, right? Parikshit Maharaj was genuinely feeling that compassion for all living entities, right? His compassion was deep enough. It was not very superficial. Why it was deep enough? Because in few days he's going to go. There was just a few days. He was counting his days, right? Few hours probably. But what he was feeling? Compassion for the living, all living entities. His back to God, it was sure. But what he was asking? How the humanity can be delivered. That was his deep compassion. And what else? He didn't ask, okay, after I go, will my family members be delivered? मेरे जो क्षत्रिय सेना है वो भी डिलीवर हो जाएगी, मेरी जो प्रजा है वो डिलीवर हो जाएगी. Any caste, any creed, he asked for the whole humanity. That's why his compassion was complete. It was not only my Rashtra or this caste or this creed or this particular sect of Hinduism. No. Their compassion was complete. Right? And their compassion was not, ठीक है, जैसे आजकल compassion दिखाते हैं, charity दिखाते हैं बहुत सारे लोग. कैसे दिखाते हैं charity? They make sure there is a media coverage, right? All things are said, and it will be published, right? That's why there are charities. Parikshit Maharaj was not for that. Parikshit Maharaj was a very deep, very complete. It was not with the analysis of how much I am going to get gain after that. That's a compassion. All these wonderful Vaishnavas reflected back through their severe austerities and sacrifices. Now, the point is, what is a real compassion for us? If we give 100 rupees, somebody is suffering, a poor person, if we give just 100 rupees to him, is that a real compassion? He may take that 100 rupees and he may engage into drinking or anything else, right? Our intention was right, but he may engage into something else. So, any compassion shown on a material platform will not be a complete, right? Like the case of Bharat Maharaj. Now, what did Bharat Maharaj do? He showed compassion to deer, isn't it? So, when he saw this deer is suffering, right, he picked him up. The first sight of that deer, he showed that compassion. But what happened after that? He developed attachment, affection. He became the caretaker. He thought, without me, he cannot survive. And he always kept. And slowly, what happened? He forgot his spiritual practices, lowered down his spiritual practices. Just imagine, you are staying probably in hostels or somewhere, you are studying. You are studying for your, let's say, medical exams. Exams are coming up, and you see a puppy close by your hostel rooms. What do? Oh, what a sweet puppy, he's suffering in the cold. Let me give some cozy bed to him. You pick him up, you keep it inside, and all day and night you are just thinking about it. Even in your classes, in your practicals, what you are thinking about is that puppy. Exams are coming close, but what you are taking care of? Puppy. Thinking that I am the only caretaker of this puppy. Now, exams, you can loop in your exams because of this, right? So, is that a real compassion? Your main aim coming to the institute was to study, isn't it? Right? But you got distracted of your main purpose and started doing something that was away from your main purpose, right? So Bharat Maharaj is that example. Same as a Shobari Muni. He started thinking of, I am the protector of these fishes. And that's why he offended Garuda, and ultimately he has to come out of that renunciation, and he got married to so many daughters of Mandata. And later he realized his mistakes, right? So this kind of compassion on the material plane is not a complete, and rather it can drown us down. Now I'll tell you an example. If you are not strongly rooted into our spiritual practices, and if we are giving a hand to somebody, what will happen? We may drown along with him, right? Example, let's say somebody starts saying, "Prabhuji, abhi compassion ke upar class lana hai, Jeev Daya ke upar class lana hai. Let me go and preach." Where? Girls' hostel. What will happen? He goes and starts preaching at the girls' hostels. What is he starts preaching? I am not this body, but I am a spirit soul. They will hear that, and they will like you, and they'll say, "Yes, we are not this body, but you are my soul." And after that, the new philosophy will come. Yeah. 2 body, 1 soul. So we should know our limitations, we should know our own practices, and don't bring down the material plane, but we should have a proper compassion at the spiritual plane, right? What is the highest compassion? Bhagavatam, what is the topmost canto in the Bhagavatam? Yes? Which is more elaborated canto? 10th canto, very good. In the 10th canto, more glorified section is Gopi Geet. Amongst the Gopi Geet, there is one verse. Yes? Very good. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. So here, Gopis are saying, what is the greatest of compassion? They are saying, Tava kathamritam. All this tapta jivanam means, everyone is tapta jivanam. Tadap rahe hain sab log. Tapta jivanam. What will satisfy them? Tava kathamritam. Your katha will satisfy them. Your katha will give them a proper direction. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. So gopis are saying that this is a real compassion, right? So real mercy actually means to situate one to the eternity, properly in eternity. Kavi bhiritam kalma shapaham. Kalma shapa means it will take away all the kalmash. Kalmash is all the garbage from our heart. Right? And it says, Shravana Mangalam. This is the most auspicious thing. Shravana Mangalam Srimadadatam Bhuvi Grinantiye Bhuridajana. 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 And they are glorifying those compassionate workers. Those compassionate workers who are giving and spreading this Krishna Katha everywhere. But we should remember, we act as an instrument of compassion. Right? We act as an instrument of compassion in the parampara, coming from Lord Krishna and Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through parampara. It is not we have compassion, we are acting as an instrument of compassion. Right? Their compassion will be transferred through us if we remain transparent to the parampara. To the degree we are transparent to the parampara, to the degree we abide by the parampara, sadhu, shastra and guru's words, to that degree we transfer the compassion. It is not ours. We are just a postal pews. Right? So, now one thing is, when we share compassion, when we preach, we should be sensitive to others, like Prabhuji was saying, Prem Krishna Prabhu. We should be sensitive to the others. Like, as per their level, we give that dose. We should be sensitive to the others. And second thing is, we should be sensitive for our own spiritual life too. Right? We don't give out more than what we don't have. Right? We give out what we have. Right? Isn't it? So that sensitivity has to be there. Now sometimes people speak about, preaching is to develop a... Now the world doesn't know, world doesn't care for how much Bhagavad Gita verses knows you. You know how much Bhagavatam shloka you can quote. What they see is your outer behavior, externals. Sadachar, like Prabhuji pointed out. What they see is your sadachar. As they see your sadachar, your behavior, then their heart gets open. And when their heart is open, you establish a good relationship with them. But you don't just retain upon the good relationship and goody things. Because then it will just turn into a personality sect. Right? We are not a personality cult. Then, as the heart opens up, we should give a Siddhanta philosophy. Proper scriptural knowledge by which the doubts will be cleared and his commitment is more fixed up. And as his commitment is more fixed up, he wants his personal example. And there comes third part, your sadhana. By your sadhana, you set an example. So everything is required. Sadachar, Siddhanta and sadhana. All these three things are required, right? And you should, what you have received, should give out to the others. So thank you very much for patiently.